What's up, guys? It's John Dominique Price Picks. It's been a while. I just wanted to kind of give you an update as to what's happening before I move on to this review. And before I do that, I'd like you to please subscribe or like my video, leave a comment, tell your friends or what have you. Help me spread the word on this channel. I'm trying to get this thing off the ground. I could appreciate your support. To let you know, most of my camera collection is still intact. Recently, though, last week, I did sell one of my cameras. The one that I sold is, guess, it is the Panasonic GF1, my only other digital camera in my collection. Yeah, I sold the Panasonic GF1 with the electronic viewfinder. Got a decent price for it, and I'm pretty happy with the sale. The reason I sold it was because I couldn't justify it in my collection. It's a great camera, I'm not gonna lie. It had a lot of good qualities to it, but ultimately it came down to the usability. What I mean by usability is that, okay, so, it's got the pop-off electronic viewfinder, which you have to kind of take off to be able to fit in a bag to make it small enough to carry around. And it wasn't the most convenient thing to have to take it on and off when I wanted to put the thing away in the bag. And also, I think it was the orientation sensor on it wasn't working. And, I'm a big fan of taking, especially with Micro Four Thirds formats. I'm a big fan of rotating my pictures in portrait style, up and down, versus like a landscape. And the orientation sensor wasn't working, and it got to be a little painful after a while because I do a lot of pictures that were in that portrait orientation, up and down, vertical format, and to have to rotate all the pictures like that manually was kind of painful. So that was another thing. But again, it wasn't a bad camera. It's just the usability factor wasn't all there. I sold it. I don't have any regrets right now. I'm pretty happy with it. I just felt like I could justify that camera. I can use the money for something else, and that's kind of where I'm going with it right now. I might get a replacement. The only thing that I did get, the new item it's on the way. I haven't gotten it yet, but it is a Kodak KE60 point and shoot film camera on the way. Did a little bit of research on that guy, and I liked it for the price. Very good price. And I've seen some of the example photos, and I'm kind of blown away by it. And I think it's going to be a good look for me. It's going to a little bit bump heads with the point and shoot Samsung camera that I have now, because they're both kind of have clean images, and I'm looking for something a little bit more gritty. I was looking at the Minolta Hymatics, but I'm kind of skeptical because the other Hymatics that I bought didn't work, and it was kind of painful trying to find the right battery to make sure that it was going to work. And I just think that for the money and the age of the Hymatics, the electronics are going to fail eventually, and they're older. So I figured I just might as well put that money to something a little bit newer, which is where I'm at right now with the Kodak KE60, and that's on the way. I will probably end up doing a review on that. Let me know if you're really interested in that, and I will, make that a priority. But for now, I am going to talk about the Nikon F80, actually. Thought you were going to be kind of tricked you, actually, because you probably thought I was going to talk about the N60, which I already did. I think I did. I don't know if I did a review, but I did an unboxing of that camera. And I still do have that camera. I wanted something a little bit more upscale on the features, and I went ahead and found a good deal on a Nikon F80, and here it is. It's a Nice camera, I'm not gonna lie. I like the way this thing looks. I like the way it feels. It's very professional black color, as you can see. I took that lens, that 50 millimeter lens, and I popped it on here, and it works great. There was a little bit of an issue, I'm not gonna lie. It gives my things a little, my camera's a little character, but there's a, put some tape on the back because this button falls, it doesn't stay in place. And this button basically is the selector, the focus selector. You can choose between 3 different points. And so I don't really use that. I just use center focus mostly. So I locked it on center focus and I don't worry about moving this button. Yeah, it looks kind of ghetto, but it still does the job. This is a good camera. The way it feels, I'm surprised. I've never really was into Nikons too much, but when I saw this one, I was like, let me give it a chance. And I heard they were great for black and white. So I'm like, I'm gonna try it for black and white photos because I'm a big black and white photo fan. I'm kind of glad I tried it. I do have some pictures that I did take with it that I got developed, and I will be showing you those photos, but just kind of want to give a quick rundown on this guy. Everything functions great on it. I got a really good deal. It was cheap. I wanted to try it. It's clean. It's professional. It feels good. It was sticky. I'm not going to lie to you. The grip was sticky, and I had to take some alcohol and really rub it down to get all the stickiness out of the grip in the hand and the hand grip and the base of it. But it's got a full wide variety of professional features that I might not even use. It's got a flash, it's got your normal PASM modes. It's got bracketing. You can choose your ISO, which is a pretty big deal, which the other N60 didn't have, which is one thing I wanted to make sure that I had access to. You can choose between manual and autofocus, single or continuous. It's got exposure compensation. It's got, I think, 2 dials, the front dial here and the back dial for your thumb, which is really nice. So the operation makes it like, I think this is for your aperture and this is for your shutter speed, and it makes the operation really great for program mode or manual mode. The viewfinder was really on point. I enjoyed this viewfinder. Didn't have too much information. The fonts were just a little small, but I'm not going to complain. It was doable. And, it's got your diopter here, so you can change, how you see what's in that viewfinder, the distance to how close it would be to your eye for people who wear glasses mostly. It's got a nice LCD screen. I think the LCD screen was backlit too, if I'm not mistaken. You can push this button and it lights up when it gets dark. So that's a good feature. Autofocus lock on the back. And then you have your metering modes back here as well on the thumb. And one feature, I don't think that was on the N60, and now I see how important it is. This is the depth of field preview, which is really handy. It's just right there, and it's nice when you're working this and you can see the depth of field, how it's going to look before you take the picture. That's helpful. That's very helpful. Yeah, and this is the standard 50 millimeter lens that I got off the N60. I put it on here. It came with a filter, UV filter. The lens works great. You can use it in manual mode, which is helpful. I did get an adapter to try to pop it onto my Olympus cameras as well, because I like to adapt vintage lenses. Now, I will say that, I don't know, compared to like the all metal body mounts of the old school vintage lenses that I'm used to, this is a little bit, the focusing ring, I don't know, it's not as damp. It's not as dampened, and it's not as fine, as refined as, like, say, a Tachymark, super multi-coated Tachymark that I have. But it does the job. It does good. And yeah, you can put this thing, you flick this little switch here, if you can see that, and you can change it. You can change the aperture settings here on this dial, which was kind of helpful for, you know, using this for, you know, as a legacy lens. Now, I will say, I'm kind of looking back at it, I probably regret buying this guy. It wasn't a lot of money, but the reason I regret buying it is because I didn't give the N60 too much of a chance. I have not run a roll of film through that. When I got this guy, I was like, I'm going to hold on to the N60 because I want to make sure this is going to work. And I was planning on selling the N60, but this Nikon N80, it's supposedly a better camera. And here's where things get a little tricky, because the specs and the reviews, they don't give you the intangibles. Like, for instance, does this camera inspire me to shoot? It does, but not to the degree where I want to keep this in my collection. The reason being is because I have other cameras that do give me more inspiration to shoot. So if I had not bought this and I gave the chance to the N60 with this lens and just used that instead, I could have just seen how that camera performed, because it's the same lens and it's the same style of camera. This just has more features, and I wouldn't have spent my money on this. The reason why I'm kind of having an issue is because this one has some imperfections, like this guy here. When I go to sell this guy, I'm probably not going to get much money, if anything. So I'll probably end up giving it away, most probably. So that whatever $20 or $30 I spent to buy this, it's almost down the drain. So I just wish I would have just held out a little bit longer and tested the N60 first before, you know, I got real excited. I got this camera, I was happy. I was like, oh yeah, this has got to be it. All the reviews say this is awesome, and it is. It's a great camera, don't get me wrong, but I could have got the same effect from the N60 and just kind of saved my money. I didn't know that beforehand, but looking back at it, you know, I think I'm going to give this another chance to see how it reacts. Here's the reason why it just doesn't inspire me that much. It's because when I got the pictures were kind of, I don't know, I'm going to say a little washed out. And I don't know, the pictures felt a little flat, maybe lacking 3D pop. And I think maybe it's the lens. It's a cheap lens. It's their 50 millimeter, but this is, I don't know, I didn't do very much research on it, but I figured, you know, it's got to be a good lens. A 50 millimeter prime for the money that I got for it has got to be good, and it is. I'm not gonna lie, it's sharp, but it just, for some reason, it doesn't give me the vibe that I'm looking for. I want a little grit. I want a little pop. I want a little saturation in my blacks, and I think maybe it had something to do with the film as well. I was using an HP5, and it's a little on the gray side, a little too silver for me. And I don't know, I got some Fomapan 200, which is my favorite. This is like my favorite film. I'm a black and white guy, and I'm thinking I might give this camera another chance with this film and see if it does anything different. Hopefully I'm not wasting my time by doing that. But I get excited when I get some oh my God, I'm like a fiend. I'm a fetish. This is my fetish. Some Fomapan, like, I gotta have this. This is my film. I love this film. And I don't know, I want to shoot black and white on this Nikon because it's a little sharper. I've got Canons that I like mostly. That's where I grew up. I cut my teeth on Canon cameras. And the lenses are really great. That's one thing about Canon. The lenses are really great, but I can say now, and some people have said this before, that the Nikons have better bodies. I agree. They're more professional, they're more heavy duty, they're more robust, they feel better in the hand. But to me, the lenses are that inspiring as the Canons are for some reason, and that's kind of where I stand on that. And again, it's the intangibles. Like, does this camera inspire me to shoot? That's the bottom line for me. Yeah, so far I can't get too excited about this camera. It's nice, it looks good, it's professional, it's got all the features I need. I can't lie that, you know, this is a bad camera. You can't go wrong really on this one. But it's just compared to other cameras in my collection that inspire me. I'll have to probably, I'm on the fence on it. It's 50-50, I'm neutral right now. I might be giving it away or trying to sell it. It just depends on how this roll of Fomapan will come out with this one. So stay tuned for that. I will give you an update as I move along. Again, thank you for watching my channel. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. Please hit that subscribe button. John Dominique, Prize Picks. Peace.
Rock on to the break of dawn. And rock on to the break of dawn. It's rock on to the break of dawn. And rock on to the break of dawn. Say no. Mysterious dreams in outer space. Everywhere I go, I feel out of place. Mysterious dreams in outer space. Everything I do, I feel out of place. Mysterious dreams in outer space. Everywhere I go, I feel out of place. Mysterious dreams in outer space. Everything I do, I feel out of place. But I rock on to the break of dawn. And I rock on to the break of dawn. It's rock on to the break of dawn. And I rock on to the break of dawn. I said no. I said no. I said no. I said no. Mysterious dreams in outer space. Everywhere I go, I feel out of place. Mysterious dreams in outer space. Everything I do, I feel out of place. Mysterious dreams in outer space. Everywhere I go, I feel out of place. Mysterious dreams in outer space. Everything I do, I feel out of place.